In the spring of 2019, my girlfriend and I took a trip up to Vermont for a weekend getaway. We'd been dating for 3 years and wanted something quiet, away from city noise, traffic, people. We booked a small vintage bed and breakfast on the edge of a forested town called Maple Hollow. It had 5 guest rooms, a wraparound porch, and the kind of antique charm you only see in old postcards. The owner, an older woman named Mrs. Harrow, was friendly but strange. She spoke slowly, like she was always distracted by something behind you. When we checked in, she smiled and said, "You'll be staying in room 9. It used to be my daughter's room." Then, under her breath, she added, "Don't touch the dolls." Room 9 was unsettling. The air felt heavier than the hallway. It had floral wallpaper that was peeling at the edges, a single bed, and a vintage wooden dresser against the wall. On top of that dresser sat 3 porcelain dolls, perfectly lined up in a row. They were old, not dusty, but old. Their dresses were yellowed lace. One had a missing finger. Another had a hairline crack across her cheek. All of them were facing the bed, glassy eyes catching the moonlight from the window. My girlfriend whispered, "Why are they all staring this way?" I laughed nervously. "It's just decoration." But even when I said that, I swear I saw one of their heads tilt, just slightly, as if to listen. It started raining that night. The wind pushed the curtains inward, and the old window frame creaked like it was breathing. We turned off the lights around midnight. Sometime later, I woke up to a soft thump. At first, I thought it was thunder, but then I heard it again, closer this time, a delicate tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the dresser. I sat up slowly, trying not to wake my girlfriend. The moonlight filtered through the curtains, faint but enough to see the dolls. Only, there weren't 3 anymore. There were 2. The one with the cracked cheek was gone. I turned on my phone's flashlight and scanned the room. Nothing. No doll on the floor, no shadow behind the dresser. Then, from the corner near the closet, I heard a faint giggle. Not a child's laugh. Something lower, breathier, like someone trying to sound like a child. The sound moved toward the bed. I shook my girlfriend awake, whispering her name, and when she looked up, the missing doll was sitting on the floor beside her side of the bed, head tilted upward, staring at her. We both screamed. The owner came running in moments later, flashlight in hand. She saw the doll, sighed, and said, "I told you not to touch them." We swore we hadn't, but she only smiled faintly and carried the doll back to the dresser like a scolding mother. The next morning, we decided to leave early. Mrs. Harrell wasn't at the front desk, so we left the key and got in the car. But when we checked my phone's photos that night, something made my stomach twist. I had taken a video before we went to sleep, just a short clip of the rain against the window. In the background, faintly reflected in the mirror, you could see the dresser. The dolls were still sitting there. Except, every few seconds, one of them would move. Not in a jerky stop-motion way. Slowly, subtly, like someone breathing. Their heads would turn a few degrees, eyes blinking in the reflection, watching the bed behind them. I tried to contact Ian a few days later. No answer. A week later, the listing disappeared from every booking site. Eventually, I found an old newspaper clipping online. In 1973, a fire broke out in a Maple Hollow family home, the Harrow residence. 3 children died in the blaze, Abigail, Ruth, and Clara Harrow. Their mother, the same woman who ran the inn, had the dolls made to resemble her daughters. Each one crafted from ceramic and glass, mixed with ashes from the fire. Room 9 had once been their bedroom. I went back once, just out of curiosity. The inn was boarded up, surrounded by overgrown weeds. Through a crack in the wooden boards, I could still see the dresser. 3 porcelain dolls sitting perfectly still. As I leaned closer, the middle one, the one with the cracked cheek, seemed to smile. And then, somewhere inside that rotting house, a soft voice whispered through the rain, "Don't touch the dolls." In 2012, my family moved into an old farmhouse on the edge of northern Pennsylvania. It was cheap, too cheap, but my parents said it was only temporary until we found something better. The house was long and narrow, built in 1904. Every hallway felt just a little too tight. Every ceiling light flickered like it was breathing. The wallpaper peeled in places, exposing pale with that look almost like ribs. The locals called it the Ferris house. No one said why. My bedroom was at the end of the upstairs hallway. At night, the hallway stayed dim, one buzzing ceiling bulb throwing sick yellow light on the faded wallpaper. I used to keep my door half open so I could see the light. It made me feel safer. Until the first week we moved in. I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of breathing. Not my parents, not the wind. Slow, steady, too close. When I peeked through the doorway, I saw the wallpaper along the hallway move, just slightly, as if something behind it was shifting. Then, for a split second, a shadow passed across the light. I thought I imagined it, until the bulb flickered and the hallway seemed to inhale again. A few nights later, I woke to find my little sister standing in the hallway. She was wearing her pajamas, her hair covering her face. "Go back to bed," I whispered. She didn't move. Then I realized her feet weren't touching the floor. She was hovering a few inches above the wooden boards, her head tilted like she was listening. The light above her sputtered out completely. I ran for my parents' room, screaming her name. When I brought them back seconds later, she was asleep in her own bed, still breathing calmly. My mom said I was dreaming, but I remember the dent in the wallpaper, exactly where I saw her standing, as if someone's face had pressed against it from the other side. A week later, my dad started tearing old wallpaper off the hallway to repaint. When he pulled one strip loose, a cloud of cold air hissed out, carrying a smell like wet earth. Behind the wall were tiny handprints, dozens of them, pressed into the wood, each one about the size of a child's palm. That night, I heard whispering from the same spot, a soft child's voice repeating one word, over and over, "Stay." It was raining hard the night it happened. Power flickered. My parents were asleep downstairs. I woke up because I couldn't breathe. The air felt thick, as if the house itself was pulling it away from me. When I opened my door, the hallway lights were flashing on and off, and at the far end, figures moved. Blurry, gray silhouettes, maybe 3 or 4 of them, shifting toward me with jerky, wrong movements. Every time the bulb flickered off, they got closer. When it flicked on again, they froze. On the last flash, they were inches away, faces pale and distorted, eyes black and hollow. Then the bulb exploded, and the whole hallway went dark. The next thing I remember is waking up on the floor with my parents shaking me. They said they found me unconscious with the front door wide open and the cold wind rushing in. After that night, my parents called a contractor to inspect the walls. He found a sealed crawlspace running the entire length of the upstairs hallway. Inside were the remains of 2 small beds, a cracked oil lamp, and children's clothing from the early 1900s. Local records later showed that the Ferris family's children had died in a house fire, except their bodies were never found. Mrs. Ferris told neighbors she kept them close. They thought she meant memories, but she meant something else. We moved out within a week. The new owners remodeled, stripped everything down to bare wood. Sometimes I still dream of that hallway, the wallpaper breathing in and out like lungs. And when I wake up for a second, I can hear it again. "Stay."
Thank you for watching. Kindly like, share, comment and subscribe.